Not every crime leaves fingerprints. Some are born in code. Welcome to truecrime.exe, where fiction feels far too real.
At 1:03 a.m., October 14th, a passing cyclist stopped on Blackthorn Bridge and picked up a phone lying screened down by the railing. The camera was still rolling. In the final seconds of footage, a young woman's voice whispered, "He's here." Then the image blurred into the darkness and the sound of water. Her name was Aoife Kelleher, 23, a third-year marine biology student in Galway, home for the weekend in County Clare. Friends called her careful, punctual, allergic to drama. She wore a silver claddagh ring and carried a canvas tote full of field notes and tie charts. On the evening of the 13th, she met two classmates at O'Dwyer's, a pub near the quay. Receipts show one cider and a bowl of chips. She left at 12:21 a.m. alone, texting her mother, "Home in 20. CCTV from Harbour Road shows her crossing at 12:28. Hood up against mist, tote on shoulder." At 12:37, a camera on Kelp Lane catches her again, glancing back over her shoulder. No one visible behind her. Her phone records a 23-second voice memo at 12:44. Wind, a breath, a clipped phrase, "Don't," followed by the scrape of fabric on stone. Blackthorn Bridge is narrow, one lane, spanning a tidal river that turns black under clouded skies. The cyclist found Aoife's phone and tote bag near the midspan. Inside, student ID, house keys, a crumpled receipt, and a waterproof notebook. On the first page, a neatly drawn tide table for October 14th, with 1:06 a.m. circled in red. The river's predicted slack. Gardaí sealed the bridge by 2 a.m. A search boat ran the eddies with spotlights. Divers went in at first light. No shoes, no coat, no body. A fisherman moored upriver told officers he'd seen a car idling on the lay-by at 12:50. Dark sedan, lights off, engine low. He didn't see the plate. He didn't see anyone get in or out. As always, attention turned inward. An ex, Cian Murphy, had argued with Aoife 2 weeks prior about a trip she refused to cancel. He admitted the row, denied seeing her that night. His alibi, home streaming a match, held, backed by login data. Friends said he was possessive. None could place him near the bridge. 3 women came forward to say they'd felt followed on the same stretch of road in recent months. They described a presence across the street, a shadow near hedges when they passed after midnight. One gave a detail no one else did. A clicking sound like a tongue against the roof of a mouth somewhere in the dark. She said she'd heard it twice from the mouth of the bridge. She never reported it, because that's not a thing you call the guards about. On day 3, investigators released a photo found on Aoife's phone, a page from her notebook, a scrawl at the bottom margin. "He doesn't like the light." Her mother said Aoife used "he" sometimes to mean the sea itself. Her supervisor said she'd been logging nocturnal crab migrations, often using a headlamp at the bridge. The note, he said, might be literal. Light disturbs certain species, but the public read it differently. On day 5, a tip placed Aoife alive in Ennis, buying a bus ticket. CCTV refuted it. Similar coat, different woman. On day 6, a local teen claimed he'd seen a figure climb the bridge railing at 1:05. He recanted after his father reminded him he'd been grounded. No midnight walks. The only physical trace beyond her belongings came from the railing. A faint print in river silt. Not a handprint exactly. a smear with two distinct parallel lines, like the edges of something carried across the top bar. Luminol revealed no blood. The tote strap showed fibers stressed as if pulled, not dropped. Investigators appealed for dashcam footage. One clip from 12:52 showed headlights flare on the lay-by, then cut. The outline of a vehicle, a sedan barely visible, facing the water. A minute later, two pinpricks of light, low to the ground, moved along the verge toward the bridge and disappeared. The cyclist who found the phone swore he'd seen no car when he arrived. Half the town believes Aoife slipped or jumped. The other half whispers abduction. The tide table circle at 1:06 suggests she meant to observe the slag, not to vanish into it. Her headphones, still coiled in her pocket, argue against a sudden leap. So does the absence of splash reported by anyone within earshot. By week 2, posters papered every shop window. Aoife come home. A candlelight vigil filled the bridge with warm light. A woman stepped forward to say she heard a voice at 12:45. A woman's. "Are you there?" And the faint, unmistakable reply of a clicking tongue. On day 9, a scarf washed up miles downstream, not hers. On day 10, searchers found a headlamp tangled in reeds beside a muddy boot print, pointing away from the water. The print was too degraded for comparison. The headlamp still worked. The official line remains missing, presumed drowned. Unofficially, locals cross Blackthorn Bridge faster now and keep their torches on high. Most say the clicking sound is just water under steel, a trick of acoustics. But on the anniversary each year at 1:06 a.m., someone leaves a fresh tide chart taped to the rail, circled in red. Aoife's mother says the sea keeps its own counsel. The rest of us keep looking at the lay-by and wondering who sat there in the dark with their lights off and what they were waiting for.
Case closed. Archived in the synthetic vault. If you dare to return, the next file awaits. truecrime.exe. The line between fiction and fear.